Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. We are talking Saturday night's main event or Saturday night's commercial break, depending on how you viewed it. Obviously, I am Adam Cousins, but I'm back with my usual tag team partner. He's come back again. He's managed to survive all the breaks. I don't know how many breaks we're going to have during this show, but we'll certainly review that. And the transfer window in wrestling as well is open. We need to talk about that. But it's Mr. Andy Burrows. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm just hitting skip on the adverts, just
Yeah.
waiting to hit this. I'm good, mate. I'm good. Good to be back with you, my friend. Always a pleasure to talk some wrestling. Like I said, I've got a little bit more time now, so hopefully you're seeing a lot more of me. But yeah, it was interesting last night for this morning when me and you watched it.
It was, yeah. I actually enjoyed. We just talked before we come on it. I enjoyed the action side of it. Yes, there was a lot of commercial breaks. We'll get into all of that in a minute. But first things first, I did just mention there transfer window. So what's going on in wrestling right now? And for those of you that don't know, and a bit like what's going to be happening in a few weeks' time on the Premier League football, the transfer window's open between Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. They'll be moving stars around. Andy, for you, is this to really load up Monday Night Raw for the Netflix debut?
Yeah, mate, it's 100% me and you got into it. I think a week and a half ago when we spoke. They're throwing everything at this Monday Night Raw. Hence why they've subtly Michael Cole subtly mentioned, "Oh, the transfer window's open." I'm thinking, hang on, ain't January yet, but yeah, I get it. For all us UK people listening, we understand the transfer window. The fact they're doing it in wrestling is actually quite funny. Yeah, they're loading this the 6th of January, mate. I'm actually tempted to take the Tuesday off work now because I think this is one I'm going to want to watch live kind of thing. And I can watch it in the morning on Netflix, just download it and watch it on the road. But they're throwing everything at this, mate. You don't blame them. There's going to, I said to you last time, so many people that probably watched wrestling are going to come back to it now because pretty much everyone you know in the entire planet's got a Netflix account.
Yeah.
If you're a certain age, you might now be getting into wrestling. Yeah, I don't. I can see why they're doing it. They've got to give a reason why a certain superstar is on a Monday Night Raw kind of thing. So, yeah, I get why they're doing it, mate. It's going to be interesting. I think people are overreacting a little bit to it. And like they pretty much did Saturday night's main event, which we're going to get into. But yeah, I can see why they've done it, mate.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's nice that they're freshening the rosters up a little bit, even if it is just a load raw. I will be interested though to see with NXT because they're going to have involvement on both sides. Is it good? Is it now a good time for them to WWE to shuffle the pack of those sort of lower mid carders and say, actually, it might be better for you to go down to NXT and actually get some in ring time with some of the newer talent that we've got coming up.
Yeah, I mean it's been done before. You know, many a talent have gone back. They've done it with the women. They sent Natalia back at the back end of last year. They sent her back. They sent Charlotte Flair back. You know what I mean? We've seen Cody Rhodes has turned up on NXT. I think it's good maybe for people like the Miz, who we mentioned a few months ago. He's kind of in a storyline now, but he's not
Yeah,
really. It's something to do with the Wyatts and all that
yeah,
malarkey going on. It would be good for him if you sent him down to NXT. So I think now, like we said last week, there's so much wrestling now. You've really got to sit down and go, right, let's put them there, them there, them there, but then we'll put them there to do that, to then move them up to put them back. It's not like it used to be. It used to be Mondays and Fridays, done. All you had to do was
yeah.
write for Raw and SmackDown. There's so much shuffle going on now, and they've got so much talent down there that they have to get on TV. But that is the good thing about having NXT. I mean, I've been keeping up to date with NXT. I think it's been fantastic what they've been doing recently. But then you've got people like Trick Williams. Is it you're going to want to see him on the main roster eventually?
Yeah.
You know, going up. So how do you get that balance of you still want to get people on the quote unquote main roster, which for me will always be Monday Night Raw, as much as I love SmackDown. You've kind of now got to get that balance. But this Netflix deal opens up everything because you haven't really got to say, well, this is our number one show because they're all just on for us here anyway, here in the
Yeah.
UK and Europe. They're all just on Netflix. So Raw could be as good as SmackDown, could be as good as NXT. Hence what you just mentioned about the transfer window. Yeah, I think it does open the door for a lot more talent to get some more TV time.
Yeah, it certainly does. I'm looking forward. I say I'm looking forward to. I hope they do it right. I hope they bring up anyone from NXT that gets bring up. They need to have a story panned out. I don't like this. You're just going to go to SmackDown. You do fuck all for 7 weeks. You'll come out. You'll lose a couple of matches, and then we'll be wondering
Mm,
why you're here. So let's hope they don't do that.
I
But
hope not, mate. Look at Johnny Gargano when he originally
yes,
come up, like the hype around him, and then he
yeah,
went missing for how long? I know now they've kind of gone down the avenue of the tag team titles, etc. But people like that, me and you, have saying they were in catering. He was literally white hot in NXT,
yeah,
white hot, and then they called him up, and you know, did nothing really with him after that. And that's the thing that WWE have got to realize is after that initial hype of NXT, can they capitalize on what they do in the main roster? Don't change them too much. I think they've tried to do that too much in the past.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. Oh, they just leave him and forget. Oh, we called him up. Oh shit, better use him.
It's like old Bianca in EastEnders. She's still in the flip. She's still locked up in a shed somewhere all these months later. Anyway, sorry, I segued.
That's fine. We're going to be segueing for let's hit the commercial break button and come back and let's now talk. I'm tempted to put like a cut scene.
Honestly, should we just do picture in picture? Me and you can just mouth the words. They've only done
Yeah,
that in the bloody main event as well. So annoying.
they did. Apart from the commercial break side of it, what did you like the presentation, like the old school? It literally was like watching Saturday Night's main event back in the 80s, even with Jesse Ventura there as well.
Incredible, mate. I really enjoyed it. For advert breaks aside, and again scrolling through social media today and chatting to a few friends of mine who obviously aren't of a certain age of me and you. Me and you grew up with Saturday Night's main event. It's never been a quote unquote pay per view.
No,
It's more for whatever TV network it was on. Let's remember, it used to be an hour back in the day. It used to be a quick
yeah,
hour on a Saturday night. You'd get like a few squash matches, and then you'd get like Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker in the main event. That's what Saturday Night Main. It was pretty much a nod from the WWF to whatever network it was on at the time, saying, "Look, we'll give you this. This will boost some ratings." So all these people out there going, "Oh, it was just rushed. It was squash matches." If you go back and watch every Saturday night's main event that's ever been, it's always been like that. And the matches have been fast, like they were last night. I thought the matches were quick, but they were good. They hit the point. There were some great high spots. Obviously, we crowned a new Women's United States champion. It set up certain things without really telling us anything that we didn't know. Yeah, I'm with you, mate. Apart from the adverts, I really, really enjoyed it. It was an easy watch. I knew what I was getting with the Saturday night's main event. Obviously, from what I'm seeing on socials this morning, obviously you'll interact with people that you see on hitting the turnbuckle, Twitter and Facebook, etc., etc. They're a bit like, oh, it was squash matches, it was rubbish. You clearly never watched WWF Saturday Night Main Event back in the day. Love Jesse the Body Ventura. I love the fact that he's going to be at all of these apparently now. I'm hearing he said, I'll see you in Texas, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, mate. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Obviously, we're going to get into the bits after, which I think that's where they dropped the ball for me mainly. But everything else, matches, I thought were tremendous.
yeah. Let's get into one now. Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre kicked off Saturday night's main event. Drew picking up the victory on this, obviously, with the Claymore. As you say, the matches were quick, but that was what Saturday night's main event was all about. McIntyre seemingly now systematically going after all of the members. He did say four to go, which made me think Jimmy, Jay, Roman, Solo, perhaps is the.
Yeah, I mean, is it going to end up with Drew and Roman somehow before? I know we've got a lot of wrestling to feel. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about. Obviously, Drew's going to be getting involved with some sort of bloodline storyline, but how does that culminate with him eventually facing Roman? If it goes to the full circle and he beats them all, obviously I think Jimmy's out with a legitimate injury.
Broken foot. He's back in
Yeah,
January.
so he's not back till January. We're probably going to see him at we'll say the Rumble for argument's sake. 'Cause I think that's the end of January, if I'm
February.
mistaken. Yeah, so right at the start of February. So you've got so much time now to fill before the next quote unquote big pay per view.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Drew. I'm glad they got him away from the whole CM Punk thing. I think it'd be good for him. Obviously you sent me the clip on Friday of the pipe bomb that he dropped
Yeah.
on Friday. That was half work, half true. I think I texted you back saying, yeah, you know a work when you see it, but you know when a work is truthful for
Yeah.
those wrestling fans that have watched for years and years. He wanted to get his point across, and he really did. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Drew McIntyre moving forward. As for the match, I thought it was great, mate.
Mhm.
Hit all its spots. Didn't make Sammy look weak. It done
No.
what it done for Drew. Be interesting to see now where they go with Sammy. Is that setting up some kind of rematch for this? Like, should we mention Raw on the 6th of January? What's that going to be setting up? Is that part? My question to you is that part of the Bloodline storyline now done with all of them? The original Bloodline, is that done and they're all rolling on a solo kind of thing? No pun intended.
Well, Roman's got Solo in Tribal Combat on the
Mm.
first Raw of the Netflix Raw. So, and he did say it's time for them to sit on the side. I can't see them sitting on the side, although I see McIntyre getting involved in it now. And that's where
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
see him
The
perhaps
Rock,
maybe I mean, Rock's
they're
definitely
not having the show about him.
he's making some kind of, something there. I don't know. Whether he's in or out of WrestleMania, we don't know, but he's doing something.
Mm.
I think sometimes, yeah, probably go separate ways a little bit. It's a difficult one because we don't really know. We haven't really seen enough. We saw on SmackDown, obviously, Jimmy get claymored by McIntyre even with the broken foot. It's difficult to see because obviously to do that, do they bring? There heard rumors that the OG bloodline are being traded to Raw, so that would put Roman, Jimmy, Jay, but and then they live Solo on SmackDown. Solo wouldn't be obviously joining because he's the newer bloodline or whatever you want to call him. But yeah, I don't know. But I think if they're all together, if they're all on the same show, then
If they're on Raw, where does that leave where we go for the, and now we're into the season that we like to quote the WrestleMania season. We're
mm,
pretty much into it now, I would say.
yeah,
We're on the road, even though it's not official before the Rumble in our eyes. Where does that leave Roman? Does he go for Gunther? Can he still get to Cody? Is this where this transfer window? Is
yeah,
this where this plays a part?
yeah, they'll swap the world champions. Cody will
Yeah.
be on Raw, Gunther will go SmackDown, and then we will. I can imagine the WrestleMania main event being Cody Roman 3 at this rate potentially.
I still think Punk's involved. I still
Maybe
think
because
that's I still
yeah,
think that's the favour that's getting called in.
we've got the favor yet. We don't know what that favor is. So that's one. It's yeah, you could be right. If the Rock's not available, sync Punk. Or I mean, the other side of it was the last rumor that the last bit of news that come out on the dirt sheets was that Punk and Seth are going to be at WrestleMania Night One main event for the championship, meaning one of them
That's
is
on Raw. That's
yeah,
on the Netflix special. I saw that advertised. That's on. They're giving us that on the
and they're
6th of
giving us
Jan.
that match, yeah, the
Yeah.
initial match on the Netflix special.
And you're like, hang on a minute.
It's all up in the air, isn't it? Which is good though. It's a good thing. It's not all,
Mm,
we're not sitting there going, well, we know this, and this. So
mm.
I'd rather that than know everything in advance. So, we'll see. But it'd
Yeah.
be interesting. And this
Mm.
transfer window actually might be interesting on WWE.
Are you going to sit there in a yellow tie and like
Yeah, I was
deadline day?
thinking about it. I've got one upstairs
I can
actually.
see you pulling off Jim. I nearly said pulling off Jim White. Oh my God, don't clip that.
Yeah,
That's not something
that's
you
not
want to do,
something
mate.
I'd rather be doing if
UK listeners are like, what the?
in all
Yeah.
intents and purposes. No, but I mean, it'd be great if they'd done a deadline.
Oh my God,
We would
mate.
have to go live and do it.
Dead WWE deadline day. This is where we are in 2024, 25. Incredible,
That'd
man.
be marvelous. That'd be great. I'd definitely whop out the yellow tie for that. But I certainly wouldn't be doing anything with Jim White though.
No, 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 no,
But,
don't pull off Jim White, mate.
let's change the subject quite quickly. I'm moving on. The women's world title was next. Liv and Io. I like the fact that they left both of the teams out the back and there was no interference. I did like that because I think recently what I've kind of been getting is anything there's a judgment day, you're like, yeah, we know this is going to happen. If it's bloodline, yes, Fatu's going to be up there, or someone's going to get involved. So it was nice the fact that they left it, they kind of left it all in the ring with him, those two. That knee that Io Sky gave.
Oh, they apparently I read on a lot of the dirt sheets reported this morning that she hasn't actually broke her nose. It's just I don't know if it's slightly fractured or whatever, but yeah, she hasn't. Yeah, it looked like it. She connected with it, but again, another great match. Done what
Yep,
it had to do. You for the whole of the match, I'm kind of thinking, well, Rhea Ripley's going to show up at some point.
yep.
Interesting to see how they done it with like the face off at the end.
Mhm.
Obviously, Liv picking up the win, and then the face off with Rhea Ripley as she was walking off. Kind of interesting how they done that. No physicality involved. Again, we're gonna get Liv versus Rhea on the 6th of January. How long is Raw, by the way? Is it only 2 hours?
No, it's back to free when
Right,
it
they're going
goes.
to need all 3 hours, by the way, because you're getting Liv versus Rhea. You're getting obviously the Tribal Chief match. You're getting Seth Rollins and Punk. You're going to get all sorts on that. But yeah, they're gearing up again, and that's another setup for the 6th of January. But I kind of think they'll long that out till Mania.
Oh, that will be longed out till Mania. Yeah, I definitely believe so. But I thought they both killed this. I love it. I thought it was
Great match.
really, really good. And I
Apart
do
from EO, the little botch off the top rope is the only thing,
yeah,
but that could happen in any wrestling match. Again, it was quick, it was fast, it was to the point. They told the story that we all kind of knew what was going to happen. If you went into this event expecting title changes, again, you've clearly never really watched Saturday night's main event. Shawn Michaels beating the Bulldog. Can you really remember? Do you know what I was going to ask you? Was the Undertaker, where he slid the chair into the ring?
Tuesday
And
in Texas, wasn't
that
it?
was it bloody was Tuesday. I was having a discussion with someone this morning. I'm sure that was Tuesday in Texas, not
Yeah.
Saturday. Did Taker win a title
Yeah,
on
he
a
won. He
Saturday
beat
night main?
Hogan, flare through the chair, and didn't he?
Thank
He
you. There
tombstone him
you
on it.
go.
And
There you go. I knew I wasn't wrong.
yeah, you were right. It was Tuesday in Texas. That like the Gravish Challenge or something along those lines.
Yeah,
And Hogan
we
won it
are
back a
old.
couple of days later. And if you listen to the Undertaker's YouTube show. Maybe you should listen to ours, but if we watch his, but he did actually say that there was a bit of heat. Actually, he thought he was going to get fired afterwards because Hogan was saying about how Undertaker hurt his neck during the Tombstone, and when
Mhm.
Undertaker watched it back, Undertaker didn't even drop his head on the chair.
No,
He was like that,
landed on his
started a bit
knees.
of heat between him and Hogan
Yeah.
at the time. But yeah, you're Tuesday in Texas is what it was.
Yeah,
What
that's the thing. There's not. You're not expecting many titles to change
No,
hands on a Saturday night's main event.
no, you're not at all. Not at all. What I would say though is I thought Liv done a really good job in keeping up with EO because a lot of this,
Agreed.
I've I've always said with Liv because we spoke when I first come on it. We done Clash at the Castle, and I was saying I'm not quite sure Liv's been a believable champion. This was way a couple of years ago, and I know sort of Parker was like, no, she's really improved, and we've done that. Now she's come away from that sort of sniveling sort of heel, and she's now more serious. I suppose more of like you can. It's a believable that she could beat Rhea now, rather than maybe 6 or 7 months ago, where you'd think Rhea's going to absolutely kill her. You've now there's
Mm.
a bit more believability about Liv Morgan. That's what WWE have done really well with her.
Michael Cole mentioned that she's going to be up for Wrestler of the Year, so
Yeah,
they've obviously done something right. Yeah, I'm 100% with you, Matt. I think she's done a tremendous job this year. You have to bear in mind that with obviously Charlotte Flair going out injured,
yeah.
obviously Rhea had a couple of injuries this season,
Becky,
so yeah, Becky's obviously we don't know what's going on with her. There's talk of her being at the Rumble, which I'm sure we'll get to at a later date.
Netflix.
Yeah, oh God, honestly, probably right. Actually, yeah, that's a great shout, by the way. You could have Charlotte Flair and Becky both on Netflix. But yeah, I think Liv's done a tremendous job, mate. Really impressed with her in-ring work. You can see her now actually calling matches as well, which you would never have dreamed of a year and a
No,
half ago. Putting her with Dom was a genius move. Getting her part of that faction, and you can clearly see that she's been working on her craft at the live shows during the week. This is what, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. This is what people that understand the business and wrestling appreciate what the live shows are for during the week. What
yeah,
and that will lead to something like a Saturday night main event where you really do you have to showcase your talents, but you've got to do it quickly. They're like you've got 10 minutes, 15 max to get your match in, get your story told, and get out of there. And I thought she was great, mate.
she was indeed. And how do you top that? Well, you do a triple threat match with Gunther, Balor, and Pre. They try to kill each other in
Hmm.
this. It was absolutely. It was brilliant. I
Match of the
thought
night.
like recently, I felt that Gunther's kind of sort of dropped a level as such ever since he's won. He's not been that kind of I don't know that say that monster or that unstoppable beast, or there was just a little bit of a little bit of doubt of me caught in. And after this match, it absolutely went. I mean, he killed Priest with that power bomb. I think he was on the
Hmm.
steps. I
Yep.
mean, Priest did do a little botch with that little
Yeah, he had
somersault.
to pick him up twice, didn't he, and
Yeah,
get him
yeah,
on
yeah.
there. But
On
fair
it,
play.
but
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, I mean, that match right there. If you want to say how do you do a triple threat match, just watch it. Just watch those three.
Yeah, and again, you had to get with three of them. You had to get it in, hit your spots, tell the story. They done it. It was probably for me. It was the match of the night. I know we're going to get to the main event.
Mhm.
For me, I think they lost obviously the Priest and Gunther at the last show in Saudi Arabia. I thought that was match of the night. I wasn't as impressed with Damien Priest when he first come in. I think now they've kind of moved him to a quote unquote singles competitor. I think he's really holding his own with the big stars within WWE. I haven't seen him have a bad match in God knows how long. Yeah, everyone does. Quite, I know Chris Jericho doesn't like this word botches, but he's human. He's making mistakes, and when you are going at that pace, you're going to make mistakes. Hence why Io Sky slipped on the ropes. Hence why Priest just slightly botched the move. But Gunther, being the professional that he is, still done it. Finn Balor looked good.
Yeah.
They didn't make him look weak. They didn't get into the Judgment Day really involved, and obviously and Gunther he kept his title and without Priest taking the pinfall, which was good. A triple threat done right without the quote unquote main babyface taking the pin still leaves the story wide open.
It does. Do you think we talk about transfer winners? Do you think Priest would benefit for move to SmackDown
Hundred
coming away
percent,
with it now?
100%. If that title, if Gunther's title does go to SmackDown, you've got some great talent over there that you could set up new storylines. They usually do it post Mania, but obviously it looks like it's going to be in the lead up to Mania,
Yeah.
which I probably think will kibosh our quote unquote favorite time of year, the draft.
Yeah.
I think that'll be done. So yeah, I think it'll be good for him to again though. You could send him to NXT for a couple of weeks. He could elevate someone, or do they bring someone into a faction? There's so many things. If you turned on an NXT and saw Damien Priest in the main event, good times. You know what I mean? It's gone to the days of going, oh, he's been dropped down to NXT. Them days are a lot. I think me and you said this months and months ago. I don't see NXT now as the third brand, especially with this deal for us European fans with Netflix. Everything's not a main show. I think Raw will always be the stable of WWE because that's how it's been. But everything now you have to watch because a tiny little snippet of a storyline could be woven into NXT. Look at there's talk of The Rock showing up because of what happened to his daughter
Yeah,
on NXT a couple of weeks
yeah,
ago. They're like, well, you've laid hands on The Rock's daughter. Could you imagine The Rock turning up on NXT? I'm telling you, that genuinely could happen now.
yeah. It could do, and that's the beauty of it, and that's why the unpredictability. You just
Mm.
never know right now, and it's back in wrestling finally. We don't have to. Spoilers ain't always getting out across any promotion.
That does seem one thing. I mean, you can't spoil AEW; it's shit. But in within WWE, it's there's not as many. I'm not logging onto social media now, going, "Oh well, this, and this," because it's like you've got NXT, you've got what's going on. There's so much. I think that's the big thing that Paul Levesque has brought to the company. He's probably got that watertight. He's probably gone. He's probably got a handful of people, and he's gone. If anything gets out. I know it's from one of you four people that he's probably got in his little inner circle. So yeah, it is so good, man. The what I like about wrestling at the minute is the unpredictability.
Yeah,
As a fan, when you sit there, how good was it back in the day when me and you used to sit and watch like a rumble or there was a surprise comeback or but you used to assume WrestleMania, all the titles were changing hands. Now some champions go into WrestleMania as champion and they leave as champion. The unpredictability of wrestling as we're moving forward is nowhere near what it was when we were kids. When we were kids, it was squash match, squash match. Hogan won, Warrior won, Taker won. It was all, and that was part of Saturday night's main event. It was very much let's get all the baby faces and all the big characters on a show. Hulk Hogan versus Duke the Dumpster Drosy. He'll beat him in 5 seconds. Repo Man will lose to Randy Savage. That's how it used to be. Whereas now you're getting really good events minus the adverts. What we got last night.
yeah. Let's hope for less of them going forward. One of the things that I've been looking forward to, waiting for the women's mid I hate the word mid card, but it is. It's a women's secondary title.
Hmm.
One of them anyway. We've got one of the competitions now, which was the United States Championship. Chelsea Green, Mi Chin. I don't think WWE could have got this wrong with any one of these two winning it. I think both. What I've liked about it is they've given it to one of the quote unquote top end mid card wrestlers, perhaps probably the most over one out of the lot. Obviously, Chelsea Green won it in a brilliant unprettier, by the way, to finish that off.
Oh,
The
the ending was amazing.
amazing. I mean, I'd like to see Christian try that.
Yeah. Does he still wrestle? Oh,
I
Jesus
knew you was
Christ.
gonna. That's why I had to say it because I knew your response to it. But look, Chelsea Green wins it. It really, again, as you said, quick to the point. The point of the whole story was crowning this new the women's United States champion. Obviously, we've got the Intercontinental Championship to come as well. Lots of people pushing for Natalia to win that one. I was more so. I'm more on the lines of I wanted like a Selena Vega or an Ivy Nile or someone along those lines, but obviously, do you think the decision was right for Chelsea Green? And who do you think or want to win the IC?
I think the decision was right for Chelsea Green. I think you're going to be mega pissed off because it's going to involve the cash in now, and that's not going to go
Mm.
to the title, the main title. Like you say, cash in any belt, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
That cash is now going to happen on the United States of the IC. As for the IC, I don't. You can see why they'd put it on Natalia.
Mm.
But me and you have got into this many, many times. I think she's one of the most overrated wrestlers that's ever walked the face of the earth. Because she's a heart great and she can wrestle. She would kick the living bejesus out of me. Name me one storyline that Natalia's really done that you've gone, wow, I'm invested.
Do you remember the one where she farted every week on SmackDown? That's
Say
the
no
only
more.
one that comes to
Say no
mind.
more. You could get a job booking with AEW with stuff like that. Honestly, yeah, there you go. Say no more. Yeah, I can see why they do it. It's safe. It's easy. Again, you could set. When is the final of that? 6th of Jan?
Probably.
Raw?
I
I
don't
think it
know.
is, isn't it? I
Yeah.
genuinely think it
Yeah,
is.
I think
I
you're
think
right.
it's on the night of Raw, so
Yeah.
it'd be something. It may be a little nod to her for thanks for all the years of service. You could put it. There's a number of people you could really put. I would have said Chelsea Green up until obviously she won the United States last night. Is there anyone in
Look at the
NXT that you
brackets.
Yeah, but who's in the who's it's semi-final and final, isn't it? They've done the quarters, haven't they? Quote unquote, what we call quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So I think on Raw this week. I think it's no, it might be quarterfinals this week. Then and that would tie in what we know, 15th of December.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
doing two Raws. They're taping two Raws this week as well.
yeah, because this is it. After they've taped these two, the superstars and
Right.
everyone in WWE is getting a holiday break.
Thank Christ for that.
They deserve it,
Um,
to be fair.
so they had the people that were in it was Dakota Kai got through.
Hmm.
She
Should be
she
good.
beat she beat Shayna Baszler and Katana Chance. You got Zoe Stark, Raquel Rodriguez, and Kaden Carter on that side of the group, and then you've got Lyra. See, this is where I didn't agree. So they had Lyra Valkyria, Zelina Vega, and Ivy Nile, and Valkyria won that. I
Hmm.
was pushing more for one of the other two, and then the last bracket is Alba Fire, Carrie Sane, and Natalia.
Out of all of them, if you want to play it safe, which I'm guessing they will, yeah, I'll probably say Natalia. Or do they
Yeah.
just give it to someone and go, here, run with it?
Mm.
So,
I think they
yeah,
made a
again,
wrong call on that first one. Valkyria beating Selena and Naira Nile. I would have liked to have seen one of the other two pick that up. Nothing against Valkyria, but when you look at two women that have really obviously trained hard, worked hard, and you can see it, you can
hmm.
see the character, you can see how much they're improving. One of those two really deserved it over Valkyria, in my opinion, but that's
Yeah,
just
no, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. Again, it's going to all come down to the 6th of January. It's not WrestleMania, this.
unbelievable. 6th of January is, how much we're going to have. To be
Well,
fair,
how long's it? Yeah, I've chosen a good time to come back and review these with you. How long
yeah.
are we going to need? About 4 hours.
Probably, but to be we have criticized like we just talking about AEW quickly. We criticized them with like 11 matches on the pay-per-view. We could be on this on Raw at this rate.
Yeah, you can. I'm guessing Netflix have chucked how many billions at this, so they're going to want everyone. They've said we want Roman, we want this, yada yada yada. There's going to be so many eyes on the wrestling
Yeah,
product that week. And again, it's another. It's Netflix. Their subscriptions are probably going to go up. I'd imagine. Not that I'm guessing most people on the bloody planet have got a Netflix account now. I'm guessing you'd think so, but again, like I said to you at the start, I know people in my network of friends that have said, "Oh, I've got Netflix. I can finally watch WWE again." I can name 4 or 5 of my mates that have gone. Andy, I'm going to get back into WWE. We always talk about it, but they're very much like, oh, yeah, do you remember about the Hogan days and the Warrior and all this? Because they don't watch the current product really, because it's on TNT over it. And a lot of people don't have it and they watch and a lot of people ain't paying a tenner for the network. I said to you last week, this, in my opinion, is the best move WWE have done in years, getting this on Netflix. Just when you think there, quote unquote, could be a wrestling competition in the world, WWE go, all right, we're starting to do with Netflix, biggest online provider on the planet, partners up with the biggest wrestling company that's ever lived.
yeah,
Easy, win win.
yeah, exactly. Now, I just want to change the subject quickly to TNA, just very quickly. I know you know how much I love TNA. Well, you do as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they've. Are we allowed
Right,
to talk about what happened the other night? I saw this caused this, the
the
old.
slap on Eddie Edwards, I'm not talking about, but that he
What
did.
about a certain someone coming back?
Oh, well, Tessa
That
Blanchard.
caused absolute mate. Are they mad?
I don't know what
I
the
know you're more I watch it. I get a lot of my information from you. When you saw that, what did you think? Is it a brave move? Is it a lot of people, wrestlers tweeting? Well done, TNA. You've literally blown your last 10 months' work, kind of with inside the business. I'm talking as fans, we care, but we can't affect it. We can't affect booking. We just sit in with our microphones and we talk about it. I saw wrestlers tweet, "You've employed a racist." Yada yada. We all know the history. And when I saw that, I was thinking, "Oh my god, this is either very good and it could work, or you've literally just got what you've built in the last 10 months to a year and gone and flushed it down the toilet." You're more in the know than me.
think like from what I personally don't have an issue. Look, I know that she's been. Look, I've seen all the stuff that she's done,
Hmm.
and the bullying, and you said rightfully said the racism and stuff like that. And I remember she tweeted out recently about, oh, if you supported the women and give them a chance, and Chelsea Green was like, well, if you supported me instead of bullied me in half the locker
Yeah.
room, yeah, bloody yeah. It was weird because I read it on Friday during the day. And
Hmm.
obviously that pay-per-view was of the night that evening, Final Resolution. And I was like, oh Jesus, like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And then they said then it turned out that Jordan Grace refused to work with her, and now she is working with her because Jordan Grace is on her way out of TNA. Probably I'm gonna be say the Rumble. She'll be debuting in WWE, and maybe Josh Alexander on the same night. That could be a double whammy for WWE for both of those. I don't
Hmm.
know. Look, business has been booming for TNA. Even after Scott D'Amore left, a lot of people, when Scott D'Amore left, people were writing it off, writing TNA off, saying that was it. They're doing big business. They're doing better business now
Who's the
than
main
ever.
booker there now?
Jeez, I can't remember the guy's name for the life of me. He took over
Scott,
from
is Scott
Tom.
Demore doing anything? Is he doing
Maple
anything
Leaf
with
Wrestling.
Canada?
Yes, and he's doing really well. They've got a relationship with TNA and AEW, so they're bringing talent. So they had,
Oh, so he's kind of still working with.
yeah,
He's
yeah, he's
still
still
that's
working
good.
within. Well, he's still working. He's in terms of TNA, like a lot of TNA ones are contractors that can work independent shows, which is why.
Yeah, I know a lot of them are in the UK
Yeah,
throughout the
Eric
year,
Young,
aren't
and
they? I
yeah,
know
so
Gary gets a lot of the TNA talent over here, and obviously when you got me the tickets for was it last year when I went to
yeah, yeah,
Birmingham,
well, it was in
the
Madrid. Yeah,
tryouts. Yeah, I mean, that yeah, I mean, hopefully this doesn't affect TNA too much. I have been watching a lot more of it over recent weeks purely just because I listen to like when you do your reviews and when you have the TNA guests on. It's nice to keep your finger on the pulse. In my opinion, they're the second wrestling promotion across, I'm not saying that just because. I hate AEW. They've really, really dropped the ball, AEW. And I mean, one of my mates who'll be listening to this is the biggest AEW fan you'll ever know. Even he says to me now, he goes, "Oh my God, Andy," he says, what are they doing?" And I'm like, I generally don't know a lot because I'm hand on heart, I don't watch it. And even he's like, he goes, I think because the way they started and where they are now, I thought they were going to come in and generally compete with WWE, but then WWE go Netflix and blah blah blah, and then TNA get a great deal as well, and you know the online stuff that you get with TNA for like £10 a month is incredible, and the talent they've got on that roster. I think they really, really dropped the ball on where they are in the pecking order of wrestling promotions. You never want to see any wrestling promotion go under, but from I know me and you share stuff on social media of like they're playing in how many people in the arenas now. The press conference from when it was what was it All In when Cody Rhodes originally to what 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
64 people turned up at him.
I know. It's
Say no more, mate. Just saying.
say no more. But the point I was going to get to, and I wanted to get your opinion on it, just because I know it's not WWE related, but they are retiring the X Division Championship, and they are bringing
Hmm.
out a new. I don't know what the new championship is. It was something that's happened during the obviously quote unquote spoilers that have come up for the next couple of weeks. I don't see. This is where I'm slightly a bit against. I thought the X Division set TNA differently. Some of the greatest matches we've ever seen in our lives were for that X Division Championship. Is it? I mean, I know they're going to bring another title back. They are bringing a title in to replace it, but is this a wise move, or is it something that they've got to be very careful it doesn't backfire in their face?
Yeah, I mean, TNA is synonymous with that title, that matches. You look at
Mm.
Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Abyss have had some absolutely great matches for that title. It stood them out, the way that it was done with the way the ring was set up and the title hanging, and it really was synonymous. Is this TNA maybe saying, look, we want to kind of move into the modern era with everyone else with what they're doing. We don't want to leave our past like behind, but we kind of need to. It might just be a case of this new title is still quote unquote the X division without being the X division.
Mm.
Obviously, you'll probably see it a lot, but you'll hear it a lot before me. Yeah, I think it's a brave move because I still think there's some longevity in the X division. You can have some great matches without it. The X division's never been trampoline wrestling either. It's been like
No,
holy fuck wrestling. It's been like wow, did you see that? They've had some of the best matches in the history of professional wrestling within the X division. You go back to the old TNA Impact days,
yeah,
some amazing matches, and it's elevated talent to be some major stars within the game. So yeah, it's a risky move, mate. I wouldn't judge it as suicidal. No pun intended. But yeah, it's risky on their part because that's what a lot of people kind of assume TNA was. That it was the X division. It was high flying. It was in your face impact wrestling. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, mate. I think they'll be okay.
yeah. That new title debuts at Genesis at the end of January. Then they do a live TNA taping where the riddle of 23 is solved. Apparently, well, I think that's going to be them. But anyway, we're talking TNA. We need to talk the main event of Saturday night's main event: Cody Rhodes, Kevin
So
Owens. We'll talk about the after in a minute because I think we both agree that WWE have dropped the ball there with something that happened afterwards. We'll get into that. I tell you what, I written down in my notes on this was an 80s style throwback WWE main event. You had ref bumps, you had the lot what you'd normally get during like an old Hogan match back in the day. You had all of that. And then funnily enough, we were talking about the steel chair earlier and about how Undertaker used it to beat Hogan. Cody Rhodes does it to beat Kevin Owens, although he never even landed on that chair.
missed it by an absolute country mile.
Cody Rhodes's backlash on that chair
Mm.
more than Kevin Owens. But this was literally, if you wanted to sum up like how do you look at Saturday night's main event, or what would define it in a dictionary, you'd have that match with a match with Hulk Hogan, and you look at the similarities, and that was what Saturday night's main event was all about.
Yeah, there was nods to the past. There's nods to the past all over the match. I
Yeah.
think was it Damien Priest on the Hulk Hogan.
Mhm.
There was nods everywhere, and you had to be a real wrestling historian, kind of our age, to appreciate it, I reckon. Yeah, it was a classic, old school main event. You knew what you were getting. We all knew the outcome. There's not a chance in hell the titles were changing hands. We were really interested to see what it was setting up. There was more than one ref bump. You had Jesse the Body on commentary.
He
I
was
was at
great.
one point I thought, did he botch something because he was taking his headphones off? Like I thought he was coming in to do the 3 count, and
Yeah.
Michael Cole made a comment of, "Oh, Jesse, you had your headphones off." I'm thinking, was he meant to run in? Did he botch that? But then no, another referee come down. I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. The only thing which we're going to get to I didn't love was what happened when it went off the air. The ending was good. To
Yeah.
see the winged eagle belt, mate.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, just looking at that belt, I put it on my little WhatsApp status thing this morning. That's to me, that's wrestling.
Yeah.
That will always be the best title. They could release another 1,000 belts before me and you leave this earth. That will always. I hope it stays. I really do. And well, we'll get into it because Kevin Owens kind of has it at the minute. It's so good to see that title, mate. That title means so much to so many people. For me, that is professional wrestling in one title there across all federations, everything. For me, that'll always be wrestling. But the match itself was, yeah, it was good, mate. I really enjoyed it. And to hear Jesse the Body on comms with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole was incredible. It kind of made me feel like this is what it was like when I was 13, 12, just watching wrestling. This is the days before Dirt Sheets. I was just sitting there being a fan, absolutely loving it. And then they completely fucked it up at the end.
Yeah, let's talk about that at the end. So the cameras go off the air, Cody Rhodes holding the title. So what you don't see, and yes, it has been put out there on the internet now, WWE have even done it themselves, was that Kevin Owens attacked Cody Rhodes, hits a package pile driver. Once again, a power driver, everybody. Yes, they don't get back up. He's on a stretcher. So yes,
Yeah.
Osprey, look.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back out of that,
Even he's doing it now.
oh mate, I don't even want to. I don't even get
No,
me
I
started.
won't open that can of worms.
Don't even get me started on that. I can't be dealing watching that again. But nevertheless, it was even after that. I mean, yes, they should have had that taken off the air. That was when I think they should have gone. Well, initially that was when they should have gone off the air. But Kevin Owens goes up the ramp with a winged eagle. He's holding the belt. Behind him comes Triple H. He knocks the belt out of his hand. Them two get into now a shoving match between the two. Now, you also, I think you mentioned, does he set up something for Netflix? I'm going Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, Triple H as ref.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and you were speaking this morning when we were texting backwards and forwards. I think you've hit the nail on the head there, mate. A lot of people are like, oh, is Triple H now medically cleared?
Never.
Not a chance in hell. I think Stephanie would divorce him at the drop of a hat if he ever considered lacing up them boots again. He could probably take a bump. I think we could see him dish out a pedigree here or there. Again, why would you not put that on TV? I guess I know you've got 2 hours and you've got to hit 1,000 commercials. The dude, I said this to you before we started recording. WWE don't need traction online. You know what I mean? It's not like they're they're hosting, they're hosting a show that we're like, well, we want to promote this, so we'll put this online. So no, it's WWE for God's sake. They don't have to put that on. Go off the air with that and leaving people thinking, hang on a minute, did I just see Triple H and Kevin Owens square up? Like literally do the square up
Mhm.
and then cut it and go. And people literally, you'll get that 5 second clip that we saw on Twitter this morning.
Yeah.
Get that with the logo coming up in the corner, cut the feed. And everyone's like, well, I need to watch Raw on Monday. I
Yeah.
100% need to watch Raw on Monday. It's like what me and you said thousands and thousands of times when we talk wrestling. Get them to watch the next week. All right, they've done it via social media. But was it a TV thing? Could it have been planned for the end because they only had 2 hours? They had to hit all the commercials. It might have been. I'm just speculating. For me personally, that's how I would have ended the show with people going,
Yeah.
"Holy fuck!" I just saw Triple H get physical, which we never thought we'd see again. I'm with you there, mate. Again, it's coming into 6th of January, Monday night WrestleMania. It's
That is it. That is exactly what it should be called.
Yeah.
Monday Night WrestleMania. It's got to
Monday
be.
Night WrestleMania, mate, is going to be Triple H as probably a referee, an enforcer, maybe. Do you
Mm.
risk having him in there as a ref? You could have him as an enforcer. It's going to be some kind of rematch, I'm guessing, between Rhodes and KO, and that kind of gets that storyline done, and then you hit the Rumble. So, or does it? I don't know. I'm
Do
just
you remember
speculating.
the last time Triple H got involved in a Kevin Owens title match? It was one of the first Raws when he was in charge, and it was I want to say a fatal four-way elimination, and it was Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens,
Oh, yes, I
Seth
do now.
Rollins, and
Hmm.
someone else, and Triple H.
Matt Riddle.
I don't think it was
Was it
Riddle.
the Riddle one? Not that
No,
four-way. Oh, God, I have to
no,
look
because
back.
this was the one where Triple H pedigreed Roman Reigns and then pedigreed Seth Rollins,
Yes.
and set Kevin Owens up for the win.
Hmm.
Maybe the
Yes, I
first
do
one on
remember.
USA, back on USA, maybe back
With the
on
red belt, when I went there with the red title. Yeah,
Universal
yeah, the one that
Championship.
Finn Balor had to drop. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah. But Jesus, that was a long time ago, mate.
it was.
Um, yeah, I mean, again, it comes. Seems to be the theme of WWE at the minute. Everything. 6th of January, and even we're sitting here promoting it. 6th of January. Do not miss this bloody show because it's going to
Yeah,
have everything.
fuck's sake, don't miss it.
You know what I mean? I don't. Normally, I'll watch Raw on a Tuesday or I'll catch up on it somehow. I generally think I might try and stay awake for the 3 hours that this is on net. Pray to God it doesn't buffer like the boxing did. But I generally might just think, fuck it, do you know what? Or I might just take the Tuesday off work. I think sod it. I'll just book the
I
Tuesday
think
off
I'm
and
working at home on that
oh,
Tuesday.
funny that, isn't it,
After on
mate?
the Tuesday, the 7th, I think I'm actually working at home.
Yeah, I'm off on the Friday that week, but yeah, I'm generally everything's going at this, mate. Um, good ending, but I just wish they'd put it on air. I don't know why. It'd be interesting if we ever get to, how it is nowadays with wrestling. Triple H could be doing a podcast in like 6, 7 months, and he'll say why they didn't, or will we sit and watching the Rumble? We'll be like, that's why they didn't put it on air because we're getting this. Now, the question to you is how long is Cody on the shelf for, though? Scene going off with the neck brace, Randy Orton, scene going off. Kevin Owens is some sort of like new legend killer a la Randy Orton. How long, though, are we going to see Cody? Surely he's going to be on the. If he's doing
It'll
a.
be on Netflix. Without a
Yeah.
doubt.
Do we not see him till then?
Maybe not.
That's the
Maybe not.
big build. Do we him and Randy on the same night both just kick the living bejesus out of KO and that's that storyline done? Do
Well,
they?
Kevin Owens hasn't signed a new contract yet.
He's gonna.
I
Where
know
else
he's
else?
going to, but
Where
he
else is
hasn't.
he gonna, mate? You've got more chance of him turning up at Ignite than you have at AEW. Ignite's bigger than AEW, by the way. Yeah, I mean, he's going to, mate. Now is not the time to be leaving the WWE if you're
Yeah.
of this ilk. Look, because you made a great point at the start of the show. You've got NXT, you've got SmackDown, you've got Speed. Is it? That's
Yeah,
on
the big,
Twitter. This is where
yeah.
we are with the WWE right now. There's so many options as a professional wrestler now in the WWE. He'll sign a new deal. He's crazy if he doesn't. Absolutely crazy. Only look at what's his name? That's just gone to AEW from the
Ricochet.
and it's gone from my mind. Big black guy.
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. Look how bad he's doing now. Come on, man. Why you stay at AEW? He's going to sign. Going to be interesting to see what they do with him, though. What do you reckon, though, storyline wise now? Because they're going to play the whole Cody's off TV. You've got obviously one of the Jimmy Uso off TV. You've got Randy Orton off TV. You're probably not going to see much of Roman Reigns before the
You won't
6th.
see
You
him
might
until
see like
6.
that cinematic the thing they've done with
Yeah,
Heyman behind him. I
he
thought that
done
was
it. Yeah.
incredible. You're going to see more of them. So, in your opinion, what do we see now in the next? What we got? 3 weeks?
Well, I think one of them weeks are going to be a best of, surely, right?
Yeah, because they're recording 2 Raws, isn't they?
One of
So
so
we'll
one of
get
them is probably going to be a best of. They won't want to pre-record the Raw before Netflix. That's got to be. Well, I don't
no.
know.
So we've got
Right?
this Monday coming. So they're recording. So this Monday is normal Raw with another one recorded after it for the following week. So that's Christmas week. You then go to the week after.
Which is when they
That's
get
New
week
Year's.
before Netflix, right?
Yeah, you've got one. That's 1 week before Netflix. So we've got 4 weeks before Netflix.
So they're going to really like yeah. They got this week and next week are going to be taped tomorrow, and then we've got the one after. The one after they've got to do that live. They can't do a best of then. They have to do it live.
Yeah.
You can have a Raw next week as because Christmas Raw. They can do that.
Yeah, you can just be a
It'd just be a filler, wouldn't it? The old
yeah.
Miracle on 34th Street fight. I would have said New Day jumping around, but you won't get that. So
Yeah, Stone Cold stunning the Father
Wyatt
Christmas.
Six
They used to
doing
do the tribute to the troops this time of year, didn't they? Do we get
yeah.
that again? Is that
Yeah,
been was that recorded last night, or we would have heard? To be
yeah,
fair,
we would have
do
heard
we
it.
get a tribute to the Troops show that they record at a house event this week?
We just
You know,
get a
because
fun Raw, didn't you, that week?
yeah, we'll just get something that it'll be a lot of pack. It'll be a lot. It mate. All you're going to hear now for four
Packages.
weeks is Netflix, Netflix,
Netflix,
Netflix.
Netflix.
It's going to be set up, set up, set up, set up, set up, and it's going to be like WrestleMania. It's gonna be, and then imagine if this is the setup for Netflix. Imagine what the build to WrestleMania is going to be. Because, like you said, the Rumble's late. It's not to the first week of Feb. Have we
Yeah.
got a Saudi show in January? What have we got
We've
in
got Saudi
January?
show in February, I think.
What have we got? Have we got anything in January?
No.
Nothing at all. So it's
But
just
Saturday night's main event's back again.
in Texas, yeah. So we've got that, which will, again will fill a little bit. It will tell a few stories,
Just a little
nothing
bit.
major. But yeah, so you've pretty much got Raw and SmackDown for well, January's long, it's 31 days in January. So you've probably got 5 weeks of Raw and SmackDown. Then you've got the Rumble in the first week of February, but then you've got a short build because you've only got a week and a half to the Elimination Chamber in Canada.
Yeah.
So
Got New Year's
it's
Eve, Saturday night's main event, and then Royal Rumble.
yeah, so yeah, it's going to be Raw and Smack. It's going to be old school. It's going to be Raw, SmackDown, and again, like me and you mentioned a couple of years ago, it's like, whoa, you've got to fill all this time. But then you're probably going to have to watch NXT because they're going to throw loads of storylines on that. That's going to involve everybody. You know, you're going to really, and again, this is when the Netflix thing's good because everyone legitimately can watch it now. They'll be like, okay, I'll just, I don't have to start till over here in the UK. I know we have a lot of listeners in the States. Don't have to stay up till 2 in the morning. You just wake up in the morning, hit the little download button on Netflix, put it on your phone or your tablet, and you're away to the races, mate. So, yeah, well, good time to be a wrestling fan.
Exactly that. Well, that was Saturday night's main event, and as you say, it's now all full throttle to Netflix, which will be the next big
Mm,
one on the 6th of January. But you said it was a great show.
yeah.
Should have put the ending on, I think, on TV, as we both said. I think they dropped it a little bit there. But overall, man, really, really good show. And it was great to have you back again doing some
Yes, mate. We're gonna. I honestly, I promise you, in the new year, I think me and you have decided on a Wednesday if we can. Me and you are going
yeah,
to do Raw. We'll be able to do SmackDown. Honestly, I obviously had to step away from hitting the turnbuckle with everything I've got going on in my life with work and other podcast stuff in that I do. And believe it or not, me and you do have jobs and a family that we have to try and
definitely
see
enough.
some.
Yeah.
Do have to see our other halves and our kids at some stage. But yeah, the Netflix deal is perfect for me. I can watch it on the road. I can text you. You can text me, and we'll be like, "Yeah, boom, let's record for an hour." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's good for me, good for you. You know what I mean? And as much as I love you, seeing you sit there with your bald head on your own, I like coming on and keeping you company, mate.
That's good. That's why I do like talking to somebody rather than a wall.
Yeah,
The wall doesn't answer back, and the wall just agrees. So it's
no.
always good to have obviously you back and anyone that we have on the show to talk. And speaking of that, just to give you a highlight, Todd Gordon's interview is coming up this week. I tell you, if you're an ECW fan
Oh, yes.
and you want to hear a story about a Sandman and a bag of cocaine,
But that won't get you cancelled?
well, I hope not.
Okay,
But
okay, thank.
it's in his it is from his book, to be fair,
Oh, fair enough.
but it's it's fucking incredible. But anyway, there's a lot of ECW. But I am recording this week with the Queen of Extreme,
Yeah, I saw that. Yes.
Francine. I'll be interviewing Francine this week, and then the following week, CW Anderson. So we're really hitting ECW in the next couple of weeks.
One of the most underrated promotions of the 90s, I'd say. If you could put ECW in the modern era, could you imagine if
Oh,
ECW?
we talked to Todd Golden about that. I talked to Todd
Oh,
Golden.
oh yeah, I'll 100% be downloading that for
We're
when
gonna
I'm
get
on the
him. We're
road.
gonna get him back on the show. You got to come on it.
Yes, mate, count me in. Mate, honestly, I absolutely love what ECW done for the business. Obviously, I know maybe at a later date, me and you are going to review the wrestling year, but what ECW done for the wrestling business, and a lot of people at the time didn't realize, including probably me and you, it was a lot of it Vince funded himself. It was kind of feeder before feeder was known.
Yeah,
We didn't know that back in the day. Obviously, this is before internet sheets. WWE were basically funding
yeah,
ECW, if I'm right. I mean, Paul Heyman's gone on record and said, yeah,
yeah,
we were funded by Vince McMahon.
yeah,
But it was kept so you're over there, we're over here, do what the F you want. And it gave some of the, if you're listening to this and you're of a certain age again, and while you can go on the WWE network before it goes off on the 30th of December and then goes, that's another thing I hope Netflix get ads is all the back catalogue of like ECW.
yes.
I don't know, are they? I don't know if they're getting back catalogue and do we get that
I think
still?
eventually, at the moment, the Peacock deal still runs till 2026.
Right,
We might
right.
have to wait for that.
Yeah, so honestly, anyone out there, make sure you tune into the Hit and the Turnbuckle with these. It's honestly, it's one of the most underrated wrestling promotions of the 90s. It was incredible.
It is. And just quickly, Tessa Blanchard, you mentioned her. There's now rumors going that the reason why she's going to TNA is because eventually she's going to end up in WWE.
Wow. If that, then hell really would. I mean, I'm not going to poo-poo it because Bret the Hitman Hart come back.
Yeah.
They've done things with people that you would never possibly imagine. It goes back to, I know we can't say his name too much anymore, Vince McMahon, but never say never in professional wrestling. It's probably the only industry in the entire world where if you woke up in the morning and you saw that on, she had turned up on Raw, you'd be like, that's wrestling.
It is. And last bit before we go, the rating of Saturday night's main event has already surpassed Dynamite's ratings.
You
It's,
don't need you don't need me to
it's not
comment,
even
mate.
been out 24 hours
I
yet.
can. I've just got visions of Dave listening to this, thinking he wants to punch me in the face. But you don't need me to comment. It's. I'm
No.
not going to say anything, mate, because you know my feelings on that.
Speaking of AW, I will be recording AW a bit
Poor bloke. I
later.
every time I look at that, I think this poor guy. This poor
I will
guy.
be on that a little bit later today, but that'll be out tomorrow. This obviously will be going out today. Andy, look, Matt, it's always a play. It's fantastic to have to chat with you about wrestling.
Love it, mate. I love it. Let's hopefully we see each other in the new year.
Yeah,
I know obviously you've got some things planned going forward, mate. Yeah, let's make sure me, you, and Rach and all the gang, if we can. Let's meet up. Honestly, I wish you such a Merry Christmas, mate. Probably the hardest working man in this what you do, mate, in something that we started a couple of years ago, myself and Parker, and I say this all the time, where you've taken this now. If you love professional wrestling, then just go and subscribe to the Hit and the Turnbuckle, because it's not just WWE, it's AEW, TNA, NWA with Fiona. She I put a Facebook post up about jolly old Scotland the other day, and she was ecstatic that I finally I'm coming around to liking things in Scotland. But yeah, mate, honestly, I wish you and Rach such a Merry Christmas, mate. Enjoy your little break that you probably won't. Knowing you'll probably record Christmas Day.
no, I
Um,
definitely won't be doing that. Although,
but
well, I think I was saying to Fiona, I'm not sure if NWA Power might be taken like because they normally do a Tuesday night. Like we normally, I was like, no,
if
we're not.
Rach wonders where you are, mate, he's off recording. Yeah, but honestly, mate, very Merry Christmas to you, mate. You've done such a good thing
You
this year, and I
and yours, man.
can't wait to do sit down and talk Raw and SmackDown next year, mate. It's going to be
Well,
incredible.
the next time will probably be the Netflix debut.
It will be, mate. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me for the rest of the year. 6th of January, Raw, Netflix. We're going to need a lot of time. We're going to have to break that, mate. That's going to set up. So I think that's going to be incredible. It's
It
going to be
will be.
amazing.
Guys, keep it on here. HTT Buckle on X, HTT Buckle on YouTube. Hit the Turnbuckle podcast on Instagram. Andy, the other ones that you've got, the podcast you've got, where can they find it?
Yeah, at Commander Bunker. If you're a fan of the NFL, come and check out us. You can find me at Commander Bunker, just talking all things NFL and Washington Commanders. And if you're a fan of non-league football like myself and Adam, he supports the mighty Canby Island, at DTFC Pod, talking all Dunstable Town and non-league. If you ever want to come check us out, but if you mainly, you can find me here back in January talking professional wrestling.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So go and follow those. Go and follow us. And we'll see you on the other side. Literally, well, you'll see me this coming week. Although I'm at Riot Cabaret on Tuesday, so there'll be no Raw, but there'll be NWA back this week. Francine's recording this week. Todd Gordon's interview goes out this week, and the rest of the stuff will follow
You're doing
soon.
cabaret?
Riot Cabaret, mate.
Oh, I thought you said I'm doing cabaret. I had visions of you and Rachel in rah-rah skirts.
Well, Rachel is coming. We're actually going because the Ministry of Wrestling guys.
What guys? Say hi to them for me, man.
Yes,
Absolutely love them dudes. Can't wait to see them. I'm gonna try and get down to Ignite in January so I can make sure I see you
February,
all. February. Is it beginning of February, isn't it?
February 9th.
Oh, it's meant to be Tottenham Arsenal women that day. I can pie that off. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, it'd be great to say hi to again. What you've been doing with them, mate. Such a good collaboration. Great. The content that the UK now have got for professional wrestling, mate,
Man.
is great. Have a great time, mate. Sounds like you have a blast.
We'll do, mate. And me and Andy will be back on January the 6th, 7th to do the Netflix one. Until then, everybody, buckle down, stay safe. Go.